Hey, it's Mr. Expansive. A lot of things have happened, and I have not posted a video in a long time. But I want to talk about again, giving emphasis on the fact that people want to try to change the world, but you're supposed to change the world because it's just as much necessary as it is not to. Basically, but people will look at through the illusion, because illusion means not there. Real means really there, but it never started. It's never going to end. It's always been there. So through the illusion, people will look at basically through diversity of where the difference lies. And then they'll look at what is the same and say, well, it's always been the same. So it's just the same. There is no difference. Words are just sounds and vibrations. There's no meaning to it. You gotta understand, they're just sounds and vibrations. Well, yes, of course, right? We complicate things when it was already simple, right? Now that is necessary to look through. In the same way, your creatine is not as important as your workout, right? In the same way, artificial beauty isn't as important as the real beauty within yourself. But you have to understand that, whenever there is a new test that happens, you find the simple answer through the new test that you get, right? And the two conflicting truths will find peace. And by finding peace, through the illusion, you go back to what it already was through getting lost. Because if there was not a point to this, you would look at opposites and say, they're just simple opposites. What's the point? You see, it's not just enough to be simple. You have to have complications because it gives it a point to just it being opposites, you see. If it was just, everything's, very simple. I mean, that's all you saw in opposites was just like, it's just an opposite and that's all it is. If that's all you saw, you get bored of it pretty quickly. You need to have something that's serious with it because therefore you appreciate what's already there. But you look into it even more deeper than you did before when it was already there. You see? You already know, but yet you're always learning more. Because knowledge just means more than something that's like not. Knowledge means more of something. Like knowledge is up here, knowledge up here, knowledge up here. So basically, for example, a plant not being able to feel pain in the way an animal can is no different than an animal that can't think at a conscious level a human can. They're one and the same. They're just as smart as the other one. They still have that godlike feature to it, but now it's different. You see, now it has more to it because it's more built up, you see? And of course, with the negative and positive, they all build up from each other. But it's all build up. You gotta understand that. And whenever you're, again, before I keep continuing, I guess what I want to say is if you're ever, like with all that I'm saying, a thing to remember is that if you're ever lost about something, that don't focus on the complications. Focus on what is simple. If you can focus on what is simple and see how things connect, you can further on go through complicating things, and just seeing how things connect and finding out how simple it is necessary. Now, as I say it, I say that in the sense that finding how things connect is simplicity, but I say that in the sense how you see how I derive it, but don't look at simplicity. Don't look at what is simple and think that that's the most important thing. Like you should just get rid of. Like people will go and say, well, you know what, this world's horrible, and people are just so this and that. You have to get back to what is simple, and that's how you connect things. Is to be in that sense. Is to connect it. Is to find out what is simple. But again, complications are just as much necessary as what is simple, because by complicating things, you allow yourself to grow, move on. I mean, you were already there, but you need that because it gives that much emphasis on what is simple. So even if I say, oh, find out how things connect, find the simplicity in it, you must get lost to find that, and you must not forget about it. You must through the illusion look at what's really there as being sounds and vibrations for words, and then say, well, it's really just this when it's a game is getting lost in itself. But at the same time, as much as you find the simple answer through the new test you do, you still have to look at this as being just as important as that, because it helps you realize how important this is, because you can't just have one, you gotta have both. And when I say everything is the same, I mean that everything, the difference amounts just as much the same as what is the same, meaning they all come together as one thing. That's the whole answer to everything, is that they're all one and the same, but they hold a lot of meaning behind it. And that's basically it. I just want to touch up on that again, because people, as long as we have people living in their own box, their own ignorance, which is one and the same thing, but as long as we have that, that means it's working, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Mr. Expansive signing off. Be happy.